Corsair has been fairly active within the enclosure market with the release of new series targeted towards a specific niche, with the Obsidian series sort of losing the flagship status to the more affordable carbide and graphite series. So we take a look today at the most recent addition to the Obsidian series, the 550D. Corsair's approach towards a new chassis is not to redesign something that works, but rather incorporate something they have been missing on all of their previous cases, and that is sound isolation and noise reduction, the two features that are the highlights of this product. The chassis is priced at $150, and when compared to cases offering similar features, the pricing is actually pretty competitive, and being one of the Obsidians, you are to expect the premium quality. On the exterior, the case is fairly simple. It is constructed out of rugged steel and a plastic accent for the top panel. The front panel is made of aluminum, definitely adds the elegant factor to the enclosure, and on the inside, noise dampening foam is placed. And so depending on the location of the case, the panel can be switched to open in either direction at 180 degrees. A really smart way to utilize the front panel without compromising its usability. And since the panel is attached with plastic clips, which may wear out with use, Corsair includes 4 additional clips in case you need to replace them. And starting with the front panel connectors, we have a really sturdy power button and a reset button, audio ports that match the color theme for the front panel, 2 USB 3 ports with the USB 2 adapter, and keep in mind if you have anything plugged into those USB ports, opening the panel to the left may cause some clearance issues, and the same goes for the audio ports. Next up, the case has 4 optical drives, below which the front intake fans are located, behind this removable cover with an extra layer of noise absorbent. And check this out, a magnetic dust filter that's an absolute breeze to remove for cleaning. Notice also there is some ventilation around the front panel to allow for that airflow. Taking a look at the side panel, Corsair gives the users 2 options, either to keep the cover on for silence or optimize the airflow with the extra fans. And a nice little touch by Corsair are these rubber grommets for the fan mounts to minimize vibration. And finally, a dust filter for the side panel that conveniently removes with ease. At the back we have 2 buttons to remove the side panels, our regular exhaust fan and I/O slot, 8 PCI expansion slots and some water cooling holes, and a bottom mounted power supply with a dual slot dust filter. The case is elevated by these rubber feet, which would also contribute to minimizing the overall noise. The top panel also has a cover for the fans, including the noise absorbing material and another magnetic dust filter, so you see, the 550D is fully dust proof with hassle-free cleaning options. So getting inside the case is super easy, just push the button and pull off the side panel, and as with all the covers we've seen so far, a thick layer of noise dampening foam is attached to both side panels. Now looking at the actual internals, not much has changed and the layout resembles that of the first carbide series cases. The only difference we can notice is the slightly higher top panel, which would allow a standard radiator and 1 set of fans to be installed without interfering with your motherboard. The 4 optical drives use a toolless mounting mechanism and the 2 hard drive cages are removable. No need to take out the toolbox, just a couple of thumb screws and you're good to go. Removal of the top hard drive cage allows for installation of longer video cards and just get a better clearance for the front intake. But the hard drive cage can also be mounted solo on the top, which would leave room at the bottom for a potential water cooling configuration. The toolless mounting brackets are extremely easy to work with and have SSD support that can now be placed in the middle of the bracket without any clearance issues. And each of the cages can mount a 120mm fan, and Corsair provides the appropriate screws to do so. And moving on, the CPU cutout is fairly large, should accommodate most motherboards with quality rubber grommets around the motherboard tray to do all your cable management, with black front panel connectors that makes your job even easier. In total, 10 fans can be installed for an optimal airflow, but the side and top covers must be removed for the air to move, otherwise they will choke the fans. It would be nice to see a chassis that can fully optimize its cooling potential without compromising on the selling point of this case. At the back there's a fair bit of room to work with for your cable management, however since the side panel is flat, most of your cables will be concentrated behind the hard drive cage and not behind the motherboard. And after everything's in place, the 550D is no surprise a breeze to work with and cleans up all the cables without any hiccups. And with the hard drive cage removed, graphics cards in length of 17.8 inches are supported, but it is really meant to direct the airflow towards the main components, as high-end graphics cards today don't really exceed the 12 inches mark. So to conclude, the Obsidian 550D is really just a new facelift. It doesn't bring anything new to the table from the inside, just Corsair's usual standard with excellent build quality. It is the Obsidian after all. Cable management, internal hardware options, and full dust cover, all extremely well designed to work with enthusiasts. And the highlight of the chassis is the redesigned exterior that has only one goal, and that's sound dampening. It does a really good job keeping the noise in, and for enthusiasts who want a powerful but quiet build, this is definitely an item to consider. The chassis still offers plenty of airflow options throughout, but removing the noise dampening side and top panels sort of defeats the purpose, and that's the major flaw with this chassis. You have to choose between silence or airflow, or something in the middle, as installation of fans at the top is a must, and putting the cover on completely chokes the fans. Overall, the chassis stacks up well within the enclosure market as it is priced competitively. Corsair's attempt at a silent enclosure was a good try, but when the user has to choose between airflow or silence, it is a major drawback and limits the full potential we were expecting. And that is it for this review. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next one.